Yeah. My wife asked me like questions like, what's the status of this? And I'm like, I don't know. Ask Michelle Taylor. She'll know. So, um, all right, let's start. I did hit record. So let's first let me share about goal setting, and then we'll go into the document, and you guys can share some of your goals, and we can talk about those. But have you guys heard the acronym SMART goals? SMART goals. Okay.
I've heard it a few times.
Yeah. So whenever I mean it's a widely known acronym for setting goals, right? And let's just talk about that first. So basically, SMART stands for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely. So when you're doing goal settings, you need to keep that in mind. And you can Google that, and you'll find people have done blogs on it and stuff where they break it down. We'll do a little bit of that tonight. But you might want to just like call it up and on your screen when you're putting your goals together, right? And specific. So you don't want to say I want to make more money in Beachbody this year, as an example, right? I mean, yeah, that's a goal, but it's not specific, right? So if you make 1 penny, will you be happy? Is that what you really wanted, right? Was that what you really intended your goal to be? No, right? I mean, you need to be specific with your goals, right? It's like, I want to make, $1,000 or $500 a month, right? That's specific. And then you want them to be measurable, right? So you don't want to have a goal like I want to be happier in 2019, right? Well, how do you measure that, right? We all want, right? I want to help people. Okay, well, how do you measure that, right? So you have to come up with a way of measuring it, right? And I'm not saying that those can't be measured. Like if your goal is to help more people, right? Well, set a goal of how many people you're going to help. How many people are you going to get in your challenge group? Track it, right? And then keep, using, for example, using the BATs trackers that Carl shared, you can track those activities and you can see, are you helping people? Are you, achieving your goals? So measurable is key. The next one is attainable. You don't want to set a goal of, I want to make $1 million this year, right? It's like, yeah, that would be a goal of mine, right? But is it attainable, right? Is it possible to do in a year? Well, maybe if you strike oil on your land, but probably not. So, look at, where you are now, for example. If you're only making, I don't know, $100 a month, right? Let's double that, right? Take it quarter by quarter, right? Or month by month, right? It's like next month I want to double it. So that's attainable, right? Or maybe you hit Success Club 2 this month. Well, you want to, next month you want to hit Success Club 5. That's doable, right? That's just inviting or signing up, 2 more people, right? So that's attainable. Relevant. So, a lot of times we pick goals out that are, or we set goals that are not relevant to what overall we're trying to achieve, right? Because a lot of times we don't just have one goal, we have lots of goals, right? It's like, oh, I want to get a better house. Oh, I want to do better in Beachbody. Oh, I want to be happier. Oh, I want to have more time with my family, right? So all these goals need to work together. So you got to come up with relevant goals that are attainable and measurable and specific, right? And there's like a lot of times there's an effort. Like think of it as a graph, right? There's an effort and value. Like values on the x-axis, and if I'm being too mathematical, just let me know. And right, effort is on the y-axis. So what I like to do is I like to go the path of least resistance, right? So if I got like to-do lists, right? If I got a bunch of to-do lists, I know there's a book by Brian Tracy called Eat That Frog. I don't know if you guys have read it. It's a good book. He says tackle the hardest ones first, which is a good philosophy, right? You could tackle the hardest task first and you eat that frog first. But if that first task is going to take you a month, well, I would rather knock out the other 9 tasks that I could get done in a week, and then I'll tackle the big one, because then I feel accomplished, right? So I go for like, you got to weigh it with not just effort, but value, right? So if I can get more value with less effort, right, then that's what I want to do. So think of that like in terms, like what does relevant mean? That's the way I think of it. It's like go for the ones that are going to give you the most value for your effort, okay? And then timely, that's obviously you need to set specific time limits. Like next month, I want to earn this amount of money, or I want to be a diamond coach by this date, right? Or I want to whatever, right? So setting a time limit on yourself, and I don't like to, it's great to have a year plan, right? That's great, but I don't find it much value. And I have coaches all the time that say, next year, by the end of this year, I want to be an X star diamond. Okay. Most of the time they don't hit it because they're not following these guidelines. I would rather you say, my goal is to sign up 1 coach next month. My goal is to earn $100 next month, right? My goal is to invite 10 challengers to my challenge group next month, right? And then do that again, set goals again the next month, right? For what you're going to do the next month, as opposed to, I want to be a 5-star, by the year such and such, right? Because if you're not, taking those measurable steps and tracking it and measuring it and resetting your guidelines, because maybe you said, I want to earn $500 this month, right? And you only earn, last month you earned 100. This month you earned 105. Okay, well, there's something said to be setting big goals, but maybe that you just need to reevaluate. Because for me, I'm the type of personality that if I don't hit something, then I get demoralized, right? So I would rather set a goal for 110 and hit it than 200 and miss it. So that's just me. So that's my recommendation to you guys. So the form, does everybody have their form up? If not, you can just go to the Facebook event and you can bring up that form. And this, like I said, this is just, I saw a coach post this. This is what she does for her coaches or her team. And, I looked at it and said, yeah, that's a great starting point that we could use. It asks some good questions, and obviously your goal setting is not all about coaching or not all about the business. So, it has you evaluate like, what do you want out of life, and what are your core values, and how do you feel accomplished, and what is your purpose, and things like that. And we don't need to share all those intimate details and stuff, right, of what necessarily drives us or you or whatever. But let's talk about some of our coaching goals and our whys and our tactical to-dos on how we can do them, keeping in mind the SMART system that we talked about. So Tom, tell us one of your goals
for 2019.
Yeah. Or it could be for this quarter or next month or whatever. What is a goal?
Well, I still have my goal. I want to be a 2-star by Summit. So
okay. Well, like I said, I mean that's an awesome goal, but I would start with 1 star. When do you want to be 1 star by?
Tomorrow now.
I know, but realistically,
I know what you're saying. But well, it's just I set that as my goal at Summit last year, so that's why I'm still sticking to it. But yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, like 1 star by Summit would be probably more realistic.
Well, I mean, even if you stick to 2 star by Summit, I would say that you would have to be 1 star by March,
Okay.
And you could set some intermediate goals. And then let's say you don't hit 1 star by March. Well, then you can reevaluate. Okay, now I want to be 1 star by Summit. But, don't just move your goals without adjusting your tactics, right? It's
okay. Makes sense.
And then break that down. So let's say you want to be 1 star by March. So look at your coach that you're building or whoever that that diamond is going to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what is it going to take? Like, how many coaches do they need? So let's say your wife, right? Let's take her as an example, right? You're building her to diamond. Now, maybe she has 4 coaches already, and that means that you need 4 more coaches, right? And you need 2 emeralds. So you got to plan those out. So that means that you will need 2 coaches this month. You'll need 2 coaches next month, and then, right, to get her to diamond. And then who are the emeralds going to be, and what is the strategy for that, right? Do you have working coaches underneath her that have a plan to go and things like that? So that would be like the tactical to-dos that it lists in the document, right? Obviously, your why, you know why you want the goal, right? Because, I mean, whatever your why is it recognition? Is it more money? Is it the 2-star bonus, right? I mean, there's lots of whys.
Sure.
But, so somebody give me another goal. How about Carrie? You got a goal?
Finally, clicking
There
on
you go.
something wrong. I just need to get some working coaches. So, I mean, I know I need to start being consistent with the BAT daily, or at least, like before 6 of the 7 days a week. And I think that'll help. I mean, I sat down last night for like 40 minutes and added 2 to the challenge group. So, I mean,
Awesome.
It's totally doable. I just need to do it every stinking day.
Yes.
So,
yeah. I mean, you're absolutely right. Let me just tell you a story. I had a meeting with Tom's new coach last night. And by the way, if you guys bring on new coaches and you would like me to meet with them, I'm happy to do that, But I started doing that with some of Tom's coaches, and it helped get them fired up, right, Tom? So he asked me, what is my number one advice for new coaches? And I told him it's to be consistent and to not give up and not get discouraged when people tell them no. And the consistency part, Carrie, is why I'm saying this is the reason that I've been successful is because I am so consistent. It's like ever since I became a coach, I will invite consistently every day to my group. As long as there's people, I start up conversations every single day, right? I did this when I first started running groups on the message boards. I would go out and I would message, 10 people a day and just start conversations, right? And then those would lead to invites to my challenge group. Now I do the same thing, the same exact thing. I just do it on Instagram, right? So I use the tool. You guys know that. I use a tool called Follow Outer. You guys, you could do it manually. You can use a different tool. You can do however you want. But the key is I do it every single day. It doesn't matter if my dog dies. It doesn't matter if my car breaks down. It doesn't matter if I've got 500 things to do. I will not go to bed until I've responded to all messages, right? And maybe it's just starting a conversation, right? Sometimes it's not like doing an invite, but maybe somebody has just responded to my question about their workouts, and I'll respond to them and ask them more questions, and the conversation will continue. But you just can't let yourself stop because of life gets in the way, because things are busy at work, I'm just going to put coaching on hold for a week, or and then that turns into 2 weeks, and then it's like starting from zero again, right? And so when you say find working coaches, that all starts with doing the invitations every single day, or starting the conversations every single day, and I'm constantly inviting people to my group. And then I don't know who's going to turn into a working coach or not, it's a lot of times, I can tell you, like, probably over the last year of doing Instagram and over 2018 and just starting conversations with people, I've probably had a half a dozen people, or more, that have just signed up as a coach directly from the initial conversations that we've had. Because they're ready and they just never had anybody talk to them about coaching, and I see, I was like, this week, for example, there was this guy who's totally ripped. I think he had posted something about like PiYo that he was doing. But this guy just looked incredible. And I started a conversation with him. He turned out he's actually a circus performer. Okay.
Wow.
Circus performer, but he also does Beachbody, right? He does PiYo and he teaches other things as well. I think he said he was some kind of level 5 certified personal trainer as well, or something like that. So anyway, I'm like, you would make an awesome coach. And he's like, yeah, I've wanted to become a PiYo live instructor. Can you give me more information about that? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. I pointed him to the Beachbody Live, and I got him on the phone, right? I did a messenger call, right? So if you ever talk to anybody that's over in the UK, it's like you don't have to actually call them on your Sprint phone, right? I just do it through Messenger, and I give them a call on Wi-Fi, right? So it doesn't cost anything. I talked to him all about PiYo. I talked to him all about coaching, and he's really interested, and so he's considering it, and he may sign up, But then, so there's people like that, right? That I just pick up just right from conversations, right? It's just from being responsive. But then there's those that plug into my challenge group, and they're the ones that need time, right? And they're starting their workout program, and then you just got to work on keeping them engaged. So something else that I do every day, and I don't go to bed until I check in with my challenge group. I message, I'll comment or like on every single post or, in my personal challenge group that I run on the My Challenge Tracker app. That's the one that I'm talking about, right? That's who I invite people to. And that's just building the relationship, right? And building the trust. And about once a month, right around the beginning of the month, where you're, trying to get Success Club points, right? I'll reach out to every single person, right? Every single new person. I'll reach out to every person that I've invited that hasn't shown up to the group, or every person that showed up to the group and disappeared. They're going to get a message from me, like, hey, what happened? Where'd you go? How's things going? Or the people that are checking in every day, it'll be like, hey, you're doing amazing. I love the way that you're encouraging other people. Have you ever considered becoming a coach, right? And that's how you get your working coaches, right? Mm-hmm. And there's two different strategies. Sometimes I'll get people interested in a challenge pack first. Like if I, in my group, I post about Transform 20 or Shakeology, or I ask somebody, hey, have you ever considered Shakeology? If I get them on Shakeology or a challenge pack, it's easy then to talk them into becoming a coach, right? Because they've already made the investment. Now I tell them, hey, do you want to save 25%? And they're like, yeah, that makes sense. And then I get them on the phone, and I don't leave it there, right? I don't leave it as a discount coach. I get them on the phone and I talk about all the other benefits of coaching, right? And then they hear the excitement in your voice about coaching, and what's possible, and then they'll want to do it too. And then you can help, you sign them up obviously as a coach, and then you can help them get going, right? As a working coach. And then there's the other case where I talk to people. I said, you would make a great coach. Have you ever considered it? And they say, yes or no, but I'd be interested in more information. I get them on the phone, talk to them all about coaching, and they want to sign up as a coach. And then it's a no-brainer, because now I've already talked them into becoming a coach. So it's a no-brainer for them to want to get on Shakeology, right? Do you guys know Jason Wagner? He's my one of my Star Diamond coaches. He's not active lately, but he used to be, and he's still a Star Diamond coach. But initially, he was in my challenge group, and I approached him about Shakeology, and he's your typical hard-headed LA police officer who, I don't need any of that stuff. Nah, I got all the answers, But I talked him about coaching, and he was like, yeah, I could do that. I like these challenge groups, and I could do what you do. And I'm like, great. But to be a successful coach, you really got to get on Shakeology. He's like, okay, so a lot of times that reverse works. So if I can't get somebody one way, I'll get them the other way, So there's two different strategies for, getting working coaches. But, Carrie, for you just gotta, use your business activity tracker, set your goals of how many people you're going to invite. Like you could set it per week and then break it down per day. That means, if you need to invite 100 people per week, that means 10 invites per day. And maybe that means that you get 10 people to join per month, right? Whatever it equates to, And if you're not getting the 10, then next month set a new goal. Okay, I'm going to invite 150 people per week, right? And you just have to up your activity, your level of effort. Okay, who's got another goal? Michelle Taylor, you got a goal.
Okay, so my biggest goal is basically to get out of my own freaking way. I have anxiety when it comes to talking to people. I'm like a major introvert. You wouldn't know it to see me in the groups. I'm so introverted. So I get this anxiety when it comes to reaching out and starting those conversations, and I got to get over that shit.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. So that's my goal, is to work on that and get over that.
Well, are you using a tool like Follow Adder or STEM Social or any of those things?
I am not yet.
You should. So if you can budget the money, I would say, like I know Wendy and others are using STEM Social. I would just go with that one because they say it's so much more effective for them than what I'm using, which is the Follow Adder. But see, I think that would get you over your fear because now you've got people reaching out to you and you're not reaching out to them, you know? So for me, I was the same way. I was an introvert. And for me, especially to people I knew, oh, that was terrifying, right? Yeah, that was like, yeah, you want me to try to, you know, sell something or, you know, invite them to something, right? I mean, people that I knew, yeah, I was scared to death to do that. And I'm still not really that comfortable with it, right? But that's why I love the Follow Adder or the STEM Social, because it's the tool is going out and finding people, and when they follow me back, they get an automated message from the tool. You know, it's like, I don't have any anxiety over that. I mean, it's messaging 200 people a day. I don't know. I don't have it. I could sleep just fine. I don't even have to think about what it's doing. But when they message me back, now they're starting the conversation. Right? So it's real easy, you know. And I know that you're very talkative, you know, like when we ask you a question, right? So
yeah, if somebody like comes to me, I could talk all day long.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's why I recommend just, you know, try the STEM Social. I think you could try it for 30 days. Just see how it works for you, you know? So yeah, that's a good goal. And, you know, all right, who else? Anybody want to volunteer? Jill, how about you? You're muted.
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking here. I have lots of goals written down, and then as we've been talking, I've been revising them. Like, you know, I want to make $350 a month by June, and then $450 by October, and $600 by the end of the month. But one thing I did this weekend was I set up in my calendar like everyday steps I have to take, including like in my power hour, I wrote down everything so I can like quickly pull it up. But I have everything planned out, which seems a little like lunacy, but I've got an alarm that's going off, and I'm going to try and stick to it because I'm really inconsistent about my routines. And so I'm going to see if this works. And then if I can be more consistent.
So tell me, what do you do when the alarm goes off?
I move to the next that I stop, whether I finish or not, because, you know, like, honestly, with the power hour, I'm too slow. It's like 5 minutes for this activity and 3 minutes for this and 2 minutes. I can't ever complete anything in that amount of time. So I'm just going to try and get as many things done as I can in that hour. And then when the alarm goes off, I have 1 minute to move to the next thing and actually move to it and start doing the next thing.
Okay, I gotcha. So I would say that goes back to, remember the discussion we had about the relevance, right? Of going after, you know, the effort versus the time, you know, the time versus the, you know, effort and the value, right? So if you're doing things that aren't producing value, right, then why are you doing them, right? You know? So I wouldn't even waste my time on that. I would focus on the things that produce value for you, you know? So, for example, inviting, right? We can all agree that doing invites or messaging or responding to people is probably the most valuable thing that we can do, right? Because that could lead to people that we help and sales and stuff like that. But if you're, give me another thing that you're doing, Jill.
Like, I mean, all. What do you mean? Like, what am I doing?
Like what is in your power hour? Like,
oh, well, it's just the general power hour. It's the 3 new friends, 5 minutes. But I did that in the past where I'd invite, like if Louis added new friends, I try to invite the females or so, and then I felt like a stalker. But
right.
Yeah, 3 new messages. So I'm trying to make sure I get some messages out, do the birthday thing in the morning, 3 invites to challenge group. That, like you said, that's only, inviting to a challenge group, I usually do an event and I'll post something,
Right.
and I don't really do that on a regular basis, but I think if I get more consistent about talking to people every day, then maybe that will come more naturally.
Right.
And the coaching opportunity is more like if somebody's in my group or if they, if I get them on Shakeology, I'm definitely going to talk about coaching. But yeah, it's just I've just got the power hour scheduled. I've tried those power pockets as well in the past, but there again, I get distracted during my day. And so if I have that alarm that says, okay, do a post right now.
Right.
All right, I got to stop and do a post. Okay, invite people. All right, invite people.
Right.
And so my alarm isn't just like, it's actually every minute of my day. It's like, okay, time to read to Cortez. Stop working in your groups. Even if you didn't message everybody, you got to stop. You got to go read to Cortez because that's most important. And then, it's like, okay, it's time for bed. And I've gotten to the point, like I was only sleeping 4 or 5 hours a night. So I'm like 7 hours of sleep. So doesn't matter if I haven't finished things, I'm going to bed. Because if I don't sleep, I am so not productive.
Right.
So that's where I'm at. Just trying to get on a more consistent schedule, and hopefully I'll get to the point I don't need the alarm. It'll just be more automatic.
Yeah, but I would just say look at the activities that you're doing that aren't producing results, and they're just taking time.
Okay.
Like
for example, do I need to post every day on Facebook and Instagram?
Exactly. I mean, a lot of coaches.
I haven't been.
A lot of coaches will say yes, but I don't. That's a thing that I cut out.
Okay.
I stopped posting every day because it's not producing the results. So I post when I have something to say.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Especially on Facebook, because Facebook, I hate Facebook now. Literally.
I think it's dying.
It's dying. If you look at their stock, it is just tanking.
Yeah.
The company it just sucks. It absolutely sucks. So I use it, like if you follow my Facebook, it's like, you'll see like everyday life stuff that I might post on there, right? It's like, oh, I'm visiting this or doing this or whatever, but you're not going to see me posting about like workouts and shakes and stuff because it produces nothing, right?
Yeah.
I do that on Instagram because Instagram works, right? So in me personally, a lot of coaches, they'll do 10, 20 stories. Well, that for me is a waste of time. I'll do a couple stories. My goal is to do like 1 post a day, but there's some days that I don't do that. For me, the most important activity is messaging people and striking up conversation. And as long as I have people to start conversations with, I would rather spend the time talking to them than spending 30 minutes putting together a post that 10 people are going to look at and,
Yeah.
Or
I agree.
Working on a video or, maybe doing a huge post in your challenge groups and stuff. I don't do that, I know a lot of you guys are in Brian's group, and he loves to blog and write these big old posts, and he probably spends like an hour putting these, big blogs together, which I'm sure it helps them build relationships. So I'm not saying that doesn't work, but for me, I don't spend time with that. You know, I would rather be messaging people, you know, commenting individually on people's posts and messaging them offline and creating real conversations than putting together a big post every day, you know? So that's my recommendation.
Yeah, that sounds good. Being more selective about what activities I'm doing in that power hour. So
Yeah,
when
I
everything
know.
takes me too long, I'll just
I know what's
cut
working.
some
Like
stuff out. Yeah.
if the birthday thing doesn't work, that doesn't really work for me. But you know, that doesn't work, then you know.
I had a good one today, though, I will
Okay.
say, but sometimes I get nothing.
Yeah. Awesome. Are you using the STEM Social or something like that?
I opted not to do STEM Social yet because I haven't been posting consistently on my Instagram. And so until I can get back to that, then I'm gonna
Right.
try it.
Okay. It can
Yeah,
help
just
you
because
it can free up your time, right? Because if you don't have to be birthday messaging people and whatever, you
True.
know, it could help.
Yeah. So that's going to be part of my, you know, my schedule for the week is making sure I get some posts. I've been kind of in a, every time I try to post something, I'm like, I suck. I can't do this. So I don't know. Got to get out of that.
Yeah.
I'm not in a groove.
I see a lot of coaches, like if you, like for example, Jamie Fitzpatrick is a coach that I follow. If you look at his Instagram, every third day he'll do a quote post. And so it's kind of cool because, right, it's got 3 columns, right? And
Yep.
like the middle one or whatever is always going to be a quote. So you see a lot of coaches do that. And that
Yeah,
gives,
Carrie does that.
yeah, okay, Carrie. All right. So let's say if you only post Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Wednesday is a quote, well, now you only got to come up with 2 other days, right?
I like that. All right, I only do 3 days. Yeah.
Right? And
Okay,
then
cool.
that gives your page a really cool look. And if Monday is a fitness post and Friday is a nutrition post, and you have a quote post that's maybe an invite or talking about coaching or whatever, then you've got an awesome page that people would want to follow, you know?
I'm writing that down.
And it doesn't
I'm
take
doing that.
a lot of posts, guys. I mean, you don't have to think, oh, I need like 100 good posts before I can start, you know, running STEM Social. No, I mean, people like, they might do 3 scrolls. And if you've got 3 scrolls worth of good posts, it doesn't matter, you know, where they are. Like if it took you 6 months to get those 3 scrolls, you're good, you know, or if it took you 6 weeks or 6 days, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
All right. Who else wants to share? Erica, go ahead.
Okay, so I have to talk on one and see myself on the other one.
Okay, you're confusing.
Can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
All right, good. All right, so my biggest goal this year, and Michelle Taylor is about to laugh, is to stop overthinking things. Stop overthinking. Everybody, please start using an automated thing. STEM Social, whatever. It frees up your time. You would not even believe it. It's worth every penny in the book. What I prefer, you may not prefer, so you have to try. But the conversation starts with people following you back. And all it is thank you for following me back. How was your day? You're at work, you're doing whatever else, and the conversation starts that way. So that running in the background eliminates so much for you already. Because then you can continue the conversation when you get home from work. Anyway, I can babble on about this, but that has made a huge difference in this year. 2018 was very, very stressful for me on so many levels. So I told Michelle Taylor in January, I'm going to stop overthinking it. We're running groups together. We're getting people started on Clean Week, and we're moving the train along. So the train's chugging along. I just moved all over the place, but so I think that was really my main goal, is to stop overthinking, because I've always been, oh, let's do this training and let's try that training, and you just like end up in this never-ending loop of doing a million trainings and planning to plan something. I'm done with that. Yeah, we're just gonna jump in the hot water side and swim. So
Yeah.
that's kind of where it's at for me.
I couldn't agree more. And like I said, I've been doing this for 8 years, and it's just like when I do something, I stick with it, right? It's like when I find something that works, I stick with it, right? So follow adder works for me, so I stick with it, right? It's like when I did the message boards, I did that until they shut it down because it worked for me, you know? And that's what you should do. And it's not like every time new training comes up, it's like, I may say, oh, that's interesting, right? Or, you know, maybe I'll share it with you guys of so-and-so is doing this because that could work for you. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to do it, you know? I'm like, yeah, that sounds like a great idea, but I'm not going to do it because I have something that works for me, you know? So a lot of times you'll hear, like, I'll be sharing other ideas or other things that could work, you know? Like a fit club. Tom does a fit club. I shared that with him, right? But I'm never going to do that. That's not me, right? I would be like dying on the floor and everybody be like, what the hell is this guy doing? He's a coach, you know? So.
And honestly, being consistent is the hardest part. I mean, I envy you for that, because life happens. It happens all the time to all of us in so many different ways that we get thrown off track. And before you know it, you know, and then you're like, you're not doing it for 2 days, and then you're not doing it for 3 days, and then you're effing it okay for a 4th day. And that's really what I got people laughing. It's the truth. It's the truth. So if you could take that out by at least starting a conversation by using an automated system, it makes your life so much easier, because I sent out over the last 2 weeks 500 messages, of which I was able to turn around how many people, Michelle? 8, 9 people, maybe 10. So from 500 messages that the automated system did it for me. I personally, I'm not saying this will be for everybody, but I got 10 people out of that. That is not a good ratio, but that is my current ratio. So I'm going to keep moving this train along. But that is, you know, if I would have sat there and typed out 500 messages, I mean, I'd be doing this all day long. So having this automated system do that for me and start conversations, and the people that actually value that will write back to me. I've saved myself so much time. It's incredible. Yeah,
absolutely. I know some coaches, they hire like a Fiverr person that sends out messages and goes through Instagram. So, you know, if you don't like a tool because it, you know, hits up guys and you only want girls or whatever, hey, you know, hire somebody from Indonesia that can, you know, send out a script that you write or whatever, right? Follow people, you know, only women with this hashtag or whatever, you know? So yeah, I mean, do what works for you, right? So, all right, who else has a goal?
I'm still trying to get to Emerald, so mine is the consistency. I'm pretty much a hobby coach because of the fact of being in a truck, and I'm all over the place at any time. I don't have a set schedule.
I know.
And that makes it hard.
But I appreciate you, Connie. I mean, you show up, you know, every week. You're on Facebook. You're consistent. You know, I love having you.
I just have people that are they're like, oh, I like what you're doing, and I get to talking to them. They're like, yeah, that's for you, but not for me, you know. And where do you go from there? You know, you just kind of keep them in the background and keep hoping.
Right.
But my other thing is for all of you using the automated. And I've really worked myself around on this, trying to get away from it, and I don't know how. How do you get away from these creepy guys that they think all they want is love, or to scam you because they've got a family member they're trying to get somewhere else?
Block, swipe, delete. Block, swipe, delete. You're going to get them. You're not going to be able to avoid them. Block, swipe, delete.
What do you mean by swipe? I know the block and the delete.
Oh, it's just the terminology on Instagram. You block, swipe, delete, and it's gone. It's just like this motion. It's just a terminology, but you block them.
If you type the message, it gives you the delete option, right? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I mean, I think Autumn used it at one point. Block, swipe, delete, or something like that. Yeah, it's just a terminology. You got to block them. You're gonna get them. It doesn't.
But it seems like, I was going to say, it seems like that's all I'm getting, and it's like, come on, there's got to be other people out here.
That's where the automated system will follow what you like. You know, if let's just say you love The Rock. Okay, The Rock is great. You think he's awesome. So you put in The Rock, and the system will follow people that follow The Rock. So there's something you can relate. You're getting people that like this one person. So somewhere along the line, I'm thinking, are you either, if you're not using a system, then you're following, or somebody's following you because you followed somebody. They're using a system. So somehow these people are funneling in, and you need to get rid of this one person that's bringing these people to you. But just keep blocking them, ignore them.
Okay.
It's going to happen.
I get them too, but it's always a really pretty girl, and she's got 3 sexy pictures, and the conversation starts with, hey, honey, or hey, good looking, and it's just block, delete. I don't even bother responding,
Because I think that's where I was taking up my time, because I was like, are these actual people? Are they,
No, they're just trying to
usually I go in, if their profile only has 3 or 4 pictures, usually I automatically block it, because I figure those are the ones that they're not using the Instagram. They're
right. All right. Anybody else want to share? Brent, John, Paul, anybody?
I can, but it's kind of lame for the moment.
Kind of what? Late?
No, I was saying is I got a, can you hear me okay? Or?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, my biggest goal at the moment is a near-term goal, and that's to get fully involved with the Tubi mindset thing by next week.
Okay.
Because, well, I told you, I didn't tell everybody else, but I went and I had that knee surgery, so I'm kind of out of commission until around about March. So that's about all I can do. Can't do a workout. Can't even bend my leg. I'm still in a knee immobilizer for 4 more weeks. So
yeah, that's good, Paul. I mean,
I spent 3 weeks sitting in a chair in a freaking narcotic-induced coma, snacking all day. So I'm gonna make that back up now.
Yeah,
I've already started it, but I figured Tubi mindset's where I want to be at. So I want to be fully involved in that next week. So that's my goal right now.
Awesome. Yeah, talk to Samara about it too, because I mean, she's built a whole team just on Tubi mindset. People that weren't into working out at all, and now she went diamond just by signing up coaches that like Tubi mindset.
Awesome. And the next goal is to get back on a workout in March.
Yeah, that's good.
So, I mean, I've got 2 near-term goals, and I'm working those right now. Business-wise, I goals to be diamond a month before Summit. So we'll see how it works out.
Okay.
The near-term goals are those.
Yeah, just start by, like I said, do you have a challenge group running now? Probably not, right?
Not right now.
Yeah, so just start with that and just, set a goal of, I'm going to get 2 people in that challenge group this month, baby steps, right?
Right.
So, all right. Anyone else?
Yeah, I can share mine. Mine's pretty basic. I've only been coaching for 6 months, so I'm relatively new at this, but I want to be more consistent about getting Success Club points. So I want to get at least 2 every month, at least for this first quarter, and then see if I hit that, if I can grow it going into Q2 and the rest of the year.
Awesome. Yeah, that's a great goal. You know, one thing that I do, does anybody have customers that are on BOD? Probably most of us have some customers on Beachbody On Demand, right? Does everybody get the email that tells you when they're going to renew? Right? So some of those are quarterly, right? So every quarter, right, you get an email saying that they're going to review. Do you reach out to those people every month? See, no one's shaking their head except for Tom. You know, that is easy gold mining, right? I mean, those are nuggets that are just sitting on the surface. You don't have to dig them up. You don't have to, you know, move in heavy material. I watched that show Gold Rush Alaska, if anybody watches that, you know. Yeah, when he gets up there in Canada too, right? I don't understand why is all the gold up there? Why isn't there any gold in Virginia? Why can't I dig up my backyard and, you know, find gold? But what I do is I message those people and I say, you know, hey, Sue, you know, how are you liking the BOD? I see that your quarterly membership is going to renew this month, or your annual membership. I mean, really, it's a no-brainer. If they're on annual, it's like I tell them, I'm like, your BOD is going to renew this month on this date. I just wanted to let you know that it's going to renew for $99, but for $40 more, I can get you a whole year of Beachbody On Demand for free, right? With a bag of Shakeology, and I can unlock Transform 20 for you. Are you interested? You know, it's like no brainer, right? It's like, are they going to pay $99 or do they want to pay $140? You know, $140 is like basically me giving, it's like $160, right? So I give them $20 back as a discount, right? As an incentive, a gift. And they're like, yeah, that's a no-brainer, you know? So I can, you know, I can tell you guys, I sent out my emails to my BOD renewals. I hit SC10 by January 4th, you know? Most of them are, I have one coach and the other, however many, what is that? 4, the other 4 were BOD renewals. And I'm going to hit them up again, probably with a text message for the ones that didn't respond, you know? So those are easy to do, John, you know, but yeah, I mean, the one thing that I would recommend is like, hit up every single person you have in your challenge group as well, right? Like anybody who hasn't tried Shakeology, you know, just reach out to them, start a conversation. How's your nutrition? They're going to tell you it's been terrible. I guarantee it. Then you say, have you considered Shakeology? It's, you know, it's a great thing that I do for my health and blah, blah, blah. And they're going to say, and I say, I can give you a great deal on it. Would you be interested? And they'll say, yeah, what's the deal? You know, most of the time. And then they may give you, I can't afford that, you know, but you can go from there, right? You know, and something else that I do is, like I said, with coaching, right? It's like, you know, reach out to anybody who might be a good coach, right? That you think that you have. And just talk to them about that. Because like I said, once you talk them into coaching, then, you know, there's 2 Success Club points because you know they're going to sign up with a challenge pack.
Yeah, that's good.
You know, even as a brand new coach, it's like when I started, in order to get Success Club, you had to have a coach, right? You just couldn't get it on Shakeology or whatever, right? There weren't even challenge packs, right? I mean, you had to sign up a coach, right, to get Success Club. So I always just made it my goal to sign up, you know, most of the time it's like my goal was to get 2 coaches a month. So that's 4 Success Club points right there. So then I only had to find one other person who would be willing to try Shakeology. So that gave me my 5 points every single month, for 80 some months now. So, all right. Anybody else want to go? All right. So Jill's taking off, right?
See you, Jill.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap up. We're out of time. So thank you all for coming, and hopefully it was valuable. If you haven't finished your goal trackers, finish them. If you want to share them with me for accountability, you can. If you want to, send them to your coach, that's fine too. Whatever you want to do. All right. Have a great night. See you next week.
Mhm.